Well, I hope this is a sign with the weather being so nice. But Rochester, Minnesota, home of the Mayo Clinic. They also have IBM here, so I don't know if that means anything. But headed out. The big thing here is the Mississippi River's on the way, and unfortunately, the big albatross hanging over is Chicago. How to get through, around, what I'm going to do about Chicago. Not really sure. Chicago's a city of a lot of tolls and also a lot of traffic. So, going to figure it out along the way. Yep. Yes, I do like Rochester, Minnesota. It's a great town. I had fun kind of like, being from Rochester, New York, just kind of palling around and confusing people with my license, which is obviously New York and not Minnesota. So when they saw Rochester, they'd be confused. It doesn't take long to get out of town. It's easy to get in, easy to get out. And I was concerned about how I was going to deal with Chicago. So how I did it was, personally, I just pushed out east and then I hit the Mississippi River. And the Mississippi River, for all intents and purposes, has a road. They just call it the Great River Road. It pretty much runs along the entire Mississippi River all the way down. You can find it in New Orleans. You can find it as far north as you can go. And it just runs alongside. There's a lot of sections where you can't see the river or it goes off because the Mississippi has a big floodplain on the sides of it. So there's plenty of parts where you can't. There are even sections where there would be houses between you and the river, which is really kind of annoying, but hey, if I owned one of those houses, I'd be happy that I could live next to the river and, whatever they do, swim and fish whenever you wanted to. It's actually a really gorgeous river to kind of go down and really just kind of think about the history of, this used to be considered the West back in the 1700s. This was the frontier. This was, this was out there. This was really exploring. I really liked it. The Great River Road. It's a road which actually runs the entire length of the Mississippi. I've been on it a number of times. I mean, maybe I can calculate how much of it I've done at different spots. This road, or some semblance of the road, goes all the way down to where the delta is, into the Gulf of Mexico. This section right here is pretty calm, and well, technically this is the river, but it's also a bit of a floodplain. The actual river is just over that bank. But there are a lot of little towns on here. I guess it supports a lot of boats because I've seen a lot of boats there. This is so much better than trying to drive the highways. I'm gonna be sorry when it's gone, because this is the last little bit that's left of I guess undisturbed nature to some extent. From as soon as I cross the river, it pretty much ends. What ends up happening is just, designated, oh, there's a park here. It's just not the same from what you're coming from out west. The Mississippi really is a dividing line more than anything else. for it. It's just straight on, explore, and just enjoy the river, enjoy the scenery, because it is pretty open around here. I do enjoy the small towns that are fascinated around the river. As you get further south, obviously they start to grow larger, and there's some big cities that are actually on the Mississippi. But there are also a lot of little small towns that just thrive on boating and shipping all the way across. There's also a railroad line which kind of like runs right down the Mississippi River too. So a lot of these towns tend to be like meeting spots over for like a lot of different things, like people who spend their lives on the river versus people who spend their lives with the railroad and all that stuff, and people. So you can get there and just kind of sit and like talk. They also tend to be quirky towns, and they'll keep like strange hours, which are more dedicated to when ships come in or when trains come in versus what you would normally see. Because I actually wanted to go to a diner which was actually closed at 9 but had been open like an hour previous. I guess, and the way it was explained to me is because they rotate around shipping time, so they'll actually be open late at night for some strange reason, because that's when they have like a lot of people coming looking to eat. Train being real annoying there. I mean, there's the hotel. They got a boardwalk, so you won't be bothered by rain. I love these small towns on the Mississippi. They're great. These are great little towns. Although, depending on how long this train is, I can start to hate them. These trains can be long, real long.
like Guttenberg. There's a small town with a park, ocean. I mean, Mississippi River. Too bad there's no like cafe where you just sit and look out at it all. Well, maybe there is. I haven't really seen it, but there might be one.
This is not Mississippi. This is a lake right close to the Mississippi. I wonder how much to actually show of me just kind of lounging around here, because it's fun to just sit here, especially when a place got a breeze, because it keeps the legs off. And there's so many of those lazy towns that are out there. You can just sit and just back and just relax. I almost want to take like a long time and just like a week to slowly do the entire Mississippi River Trail, just like from all the way up where it starts in upper northern Minnesota, all the way down to the Delta, New Orleans. And you get plenty of places like this where you can just sit and relax. Watch everyone else doing whatever they're doing. Just to enjoy the day. I believe you can fish too. I don't even think you need a license. I don't know. I saw a lot of people fishing just like right off their houses. But all in all, this is just kind of moving on, and I'm kind of saying goodbye to this kind of open landscape as I head off, and I decided to kind of push into Chicago along the south side. Now when I say south side Chicago, I don't mean like, you know, gang territory south side. There's a number of spots or really bad neighborhoods in Chicago, but as for the whole of Chicago, most of the city is reasonably safe. There's just some areas which can be considered war zones.